Hello, I'm voting for Ron Paul because, well, several reasons, but mainly because I completely disagree with the fact that we are invading the world. I like the policy of commerce with all and having no foreign intervention, having alliances with none. We can be friends with people, we can talk to them, we can trade with them. Commerce with all, alliances with none should be our motto. And I think we should follow what our founding fathers have told us to do, and we're not doing it. Hello there, who are you voting for and why, sir?
Ron Paul.
Okay, and why?
All of his policies, everything he stands for.
Well, what's your favorite policy?
Well, his monetary policy, his foreign policy, everything that he, boy.
Well, what's your favorite monetary policy that he has?
Well, I like him going back to the gold standard, gold and silver. I mean, we need sound money. We can't go around just printing paper out of thin air.
All right, thank you, man. Hello there, who are you voting for President of the United States?
Ron Paul.
Okay, and out of all of his policies, which is your favorite?
Liberty.
Yeah?
He's a libertarian. I hope everybody knows that. He's running on a Republican ticket, but he's actually has libertarian views on everything. And I like that. He wants to do away with the IRS. And let's get rid of the rest of them while we're at it. The CIA, the DEA, all of these government agencies that are running amok in our lives. And he wants to do that.
All right,
there is no other candidate.
Thank you very much. Who are you guys voting for?
Ron Paul.
Okay, and out of all of his policies, which is your favorite?
I think the best one is anti-war. Against the war, get us out of Iraq immediately, pull the boys back, and stop the war totally.
And mine is to go back to the Constitution.
Okay, out of all the amendments to the Constitution or parts of the Constitution, which is your favorite that you think he will uphold the best?
Oh my. Freedom of speech.
The First Amendment.
First Amendment.
The Second Amendment. Everyone but the 16th.
Don't uphold that one.
We want to repeal that.
All right, thank you guys. Hello there, who are you voting for President of the United States?
Ron Paul, of course.
Okay, and what of all of his policies, which is your favorite?
My favorite is his decision to abolish the IRS in a very planned and efficient method of doing so. But it's the right decision.
Very good, thank you. There, who are you voting for president?
I'm going to write in Ron Paul.
All right, good. And what's your favorite policy that he has?
No income tax. It's unconstitutional.
Hello there, who are you voting for?
Ron Paul.
Okay, good. And out of all of his policies, which is your favorite?
Wow, there's a lot of them. I like mainly that he is a constitutionalist and that he feels that that is the law of the land and that's what he should be following as well as the rest of us. I like his non-invasion policy of other countries, that we need to be taking care of our own country, and that we should, like Thomas Jefferson said, that we should have commerce with all nations but alliances with none, and that we should disentangle ourselves from the imperialistic kind of taking over other countries that we've been doing for the last 5 decades, since before I was born.
Thank you very much.
Hello
there, who are you voting for?
Well, I'm voting for Ron Paul.
Okay, okay, very good. And why?
Because he's the best man. He's been a congressman for 20 years, and his voting record goes along with what he says. When he says something, he means it, and his voting record shows that.
Okay, what has he voted for that you agree with?
Well, for getting a lot of, to stop the federal funding of a lot of crazy things like letting psychiatrists send drugs into the public schools and paying big drug companies to allow their drugs to come into the schools, our public school system. And he's tried to stop that with a lot, tried to stop federal funding of those companies.
Who are you voting for President of the United States?
I'm voting for Ron Paul.
Okay, and why?
I want a smaller government. I want the government out of our lives.
Okay, what's your favorite policy that he has?
Well, one of them I really like is I would like to cruise in my sailboat to Cuba. I'd really like Cuba to be opened up, and that's just one of the places my husband and I have just dreamed of going, and he's one of the few people running that wants to open up Cuba.
Who are you voting for? Thank you very much. Okay, and what's your favorite policy that Ron Paul has?
Adhering to the Constitution. No foreign wars, abolish the Federal Reserve, no income tax, liberty. the way our country was founded. Back up a little bit, get back to where we used to be before the politicians did their dirty things.
Thank you. Who are you voting for?
Well, I'm definitely voting for Ron Paul. He's the only presidential candidate that has the answers that this country needs right now.
What's your favorite policy that Ron Paul has?
Well, which subject? Pick a subject. He's got all the answers. He's a 10-term congressman. His voting record's impeccable.
What's your favorite policy?
Well, right now the economy is suffering, and the reason it's suffering is, we have this Federal Reserve Board that's printing all this money. The money's not backed by anything. It used to be backed by gold and silver metals deposits, and the value of the dollar is down to about 3 cents to what it used to be back in 1913. Well, before the Federal Reserve Act was commissioned. So that's the big thing right now is the economy. But the biggest role of government is to preserve liberty. And with the Patriot Act, the Military Commissions Act, a slew of executive orders coming down the line, our liberties are just eroded. Habeas corpus being suspended, torture in Guantanamo. The list goes on and on and on and on. And again, as a 10-term congressman, he has voted no on all of these outrageous attacks and assaults on our liberties. So I think his track record proves what he will do as president. I believe that he will not detour from his constitutional positions. And he's the only one in the office that's actually upholding his oath. So that's why I'm voting for him.
I'm voting for Ron Paul.
Okay, and why?
I'm voting for Ron Paul because I'm in the United States military, and he's the only president candidate that wants to bring us all home. That's all I'm going to say because there shouldn't be anything else to say.
All right, thank you, man. Who are you voting for?
I'm voting for Ron Paul.
Okay, and why?
Why? There's a slew of reasons. One being that I like his foreign policy. I think it'll keep us out of all these police actions in the future. I think that will be able to, all that money that's going over there will be able to come back to us. I like that he feels that we should secure our own borders and take care of our own country first. And I like that he promotes getting rid of the actually it's not a government incorporation, I guess. It's the Federal Reserve. It's a private entity, and that is what's draining our economy with all the debt that we have. So he wants to abolish that, and in so doing, all the money that's going to pay all that interest, the IRS, which is also not legal, he wants to get rid of them too. So I think with all the money that we're going to save and all the abilities that we'll be able to bring back to our own country, we'll be able to rise to our fullest potential. That's why I'm voting.
Who are you voting for?
Ron Paul.
All right, good. Why?
The Patriot Act, for example, law enforcement can come in your home now with no warrant. If you tell your spouse you're subject to 5 years in prison, that's a violation of the Fourth Amendment. That's a violation of the First Amendment. Ron Paul is the champion of the Constitution, and that's why I support him.
Hello there. Who are you voting for?
Ron Paul.
Ron Paul. Okay, and why?
Gets rid of the Federal Reserve. He gets rid of the war. He's the only candidate that voted against the war. Whether the war's right or wrong, we can't afford it. Period.
All right, what's your favorite policy that Ron Paul has?
Get rid of the Federal Reserve, get rid of the income tax, both illegal, according to the Constitution. I'm just going by what they wrote. That's all I know.
All right, thank you, man. Hello there, who are you voting for?
I'm voting for Ron Paul.
All right, and why?
Well, because I want to restore the Constitution back the way it was and bring our troops back to America.
All right, good. What's your favorite policy that he has?
My favorite policy is foreign intervention, where you don't go invade your neighbors and do democracy at gunpoint. You lead by example and make them want to have democracy because of the example you set.
All right, thank you very much. Who are you voting for President of the United States?
Ron Paul.
Okay, and why?
Because he stands for a lot of things in our Constitution, and I love what he stands for.
Okay, specifically, what's your favorite policy?
Basically, he follows Thomas Jefferson in a lot of ways, and a perfect example is he believes in commerce with everyone, alliances with none, and if we followed that, we would definitely have a lot more friends in the world.
Okay, thank you.